Welcome to Littlefield University. My name's Duncan, and we're going to talk about how we built the Littlefield company today.
Check it
In my first career, I was fortunate to play professional golf, and towards the end of my career, I actually had a shoulder injury that really sidelined me, but I was a dumb 25-year-old that was trying to play through it. And so in that time, I was struggling, I wasn't making money, I wasn't making cuts, and I kind of said, hey, let me go try to build awareness, attention for sponsors, because I needed to get into bigger tournaments, more money. I really started telling my story, capturing my life, my world, my travels, and that's really got the start into content and content creation with the partnership with GoPro. From there, when I left the game of golf, I don't have a college degree. Sorry, mom and dad. I became a photographer and was mainly working with startups. So I co-founded half a dozen businesses because I understood the long-term play of sweat equity. So we would work on a business, or we would take photos which would really impact the business in a year or 6 months, or you did it for a very targeted or purposeful reason. And then from there, I saw the marketing shift into video. I saw how people were telling stories, how social and the world was just gravitating towards it, and literally had made one video with a kind of on a fluke, and it changed my world. And so that was September of 2017, and I didn't know how to edit video. I didn't know how to shoot video. I didn't know the difference between shutter rate and frame rate, and everything else was important in video. And the business launched January 1 of 2018. Opportunity, no question about it. The opportunity to tell stories and meaningfully connect with people. At the time, I was really saying, hey, what is this investment banker or VC firm? How are they going to perceive our business? And I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more than just tell or market or target a VC firm to invest, $1 million to $5 million into a startup. I wanted to go tell a story about, a mom and pop cookie company or a big bank or work for the VC firm. I said, I really want to tell stories at much bigger scale and have a larger audience. So in that space, that's where it really started. And, the best way to communicate back in 2018 and definitely now in 2022, it's video. Businesses that are meant to do something, but if they're not built for people, then I believe they're not going to be successful. People are our business, no question about it. We collaborate, we come together, we focus on ideas and other people's stories, and we have always made it about other people. Now is really the first time we're making it about us and trying to help, but we're being selfish with making content to be able to provide it to others, to learn from a lot of mistakes, but hopefully a lot of successes as well. So looking at that is saying, if you can't invest into people and you can't invest into the time it takes, I don't know if a business is worth doing it. So I would say lean into yourself, know your DNA, know why you started the business, and trust people along the way. So when I originally pictured the Littlefield company, I always saw the 40-year goal. And the 40-year goal is still in vision. I actually believe more and more every day that we are going to get there faster. But at 4 years, I didn't really have this idea. I also think that looking back, during this time, we had an unfortunate COVID outbreak. The world went through this unprecedented time when it wasn't necessarily a financial crisis, but it was a health crisis that led to a financial crisis, and we didn't know how to handle it. So when I envisioned the 4-year mark, it changed when COVID happened. Because the reality is we were scaling and we were growing. So I thought we were maybe be a little further along at 4 years. But if you said, hey, you have this year and a half of shutdown in the middle of it, I would be blown away that we were here right now. So at a team of 20 people, opening up new businesses, left and right, incredible partnerships, and telling stories. I'm so impressed with the people that we have for what they've done, how they've done it, and they've stayed true to their word and, focus on the North Star. So it's kind of a cop-out answer that it's like a 50-50 yes and no of do I believe we would have been here at 4 years. So yeah, we hit 2022 Jan 1 off and running. No question. There was no, let's warm up on the treadmill. It was a full out sprint. And so if we're looking back December 31st, 2022, looking on Jan 1 and the year 5 of the business, I really hope that we are at 50 people. We are planning on launching our third office in our third city, and we get to tell 3 times as many stories because that would be really cool. I think if I didn't start this company, I would still be kind of mulling around, but I probably would have mulled around in the photography startup space for a while until hopefully having an idea, building a business. But if I really didn't do that and like a year or 2 passed, I would realistically probably be like on a beach somewhere and just hanging out. So when I played golf, I had this rule, and I called it the 28 rule. And so when I was growing up, I told so many people this, it was high school, college, that I was gonna give myself till 28 to make it. And if I didn't make it to 28, I was gonna sit on the couch of my 28th birthday and look around and go, "Dear Duncan, what did we do?" And if it was like, we laid a big old goose egg, then I was gonna go, cool, sell everything, find a beach, and like go open up a surf shop or a sandwich shop or just go hang out. And I got to 26 and a half, almost 27 playing, and I didn't have that conversation with myself. And I didn't even have that conversation when I was 28 and a photographer. So I'm really fortunate. I would be, man, I don't know where I'd be, but I'm really fortunate to be here. So one of the things, and I know it's gonna sound really, really funny, but it's, you gotta know yourself. So as starting a business or becoming a creative or anything like that, you have to know what your DNA is. Because the reality is that you gotta know what you are willing to put in, what you're willing to sacrifice, and what you're willing to be uncomfortable with. You know, for me, when I started the business, I didn't want anything to do with debt. And I said, you know what? I don't want to wake up in the morning, have my oatmeal, and go, oh my gosh, I owe the bank a loan. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to put that added stress on myself. So I bootstrapped the whole thing. And I brought people together who believed in the mission. I brought people who saw it, and thankfully, I focused on rewarding them before I rewarded myself. And because the truth of it is, I know I'm playing this game for 40 years. I'm not building this business to sell it in 5. So you gotta know yourself, you gotta know what you're willing to invest into it, because if you're the person that says, hey, I love taking a risk, or I love doing this, or I love playing it safe, or I'm conservative, or whatever it is, then go get a loan. Hey, ask for private money. Ask to understand what the actual intention is, but know when you start it and you launch it, it is gonna be vastly different in 2 to 3 months, and that's great. But if you can understand that failures are only opportunities to learn, I know that's cliche, but the truth is like we have had so many failures throughout this business, it's uncomfortable. And now 4 years in, we are dealing with scenarios that would have shut me down or would have shut the business down a couple years ago. And now it's just a Tuesday. Can your passion make money? Can your passion actually be your career? And what life do you want to live off the career that you build? So a lot of people talk about, it's love or money, and I think it's actually money or time. It's what do you value more? Do you value money in the bank to give yourself time, or do you value more time in front of you, which then you have to understand the money aspect of having a life and being able to pay bills. I know we don't want to pay taxes, but guess what? They happen. You really have to understand what your passion is and then understand the business model attached. But what I would challenge you is like that passion, that word is thrown around so loosely. I would understand, or I would figure out what your flow state is and double down on that. That flow state is when you go like unlock unconsciousness, and all of a sudden you're working on something and like 3-4 hours pass. Your phone rings, your mom calls you, all these different things just go by, and you are just locked in and you're problem solving. You're figuring things out. You're in love with the process. If you can find that, where you enter flow, that's the thing that I guarantee you can make a business out of. If that's playing video games, if that's building business models, if that's, doing whatever. If you can find the state of flow, double down on it, because it is going to be the best investment you ever make. Well, guys, as we wrap here today, I hope you got something from this. And if I wasted your time, super sorry, but let me know. If you write me an email, I'll respond, I promise. So the other part of this is I want to kind of bring people more into what we see. Like, subscribe, give us a comment, whatever you want to learn more about. We'll see you in class. Have a great day.